Hello indie game fans, with the release of the fantastic Death's Door, just like Friday's video on the top 10 upcoming Metroidvania indie games that I'm most excited about, here's a similar video but this time covering 2D action-adventure Zelda-like titles, where I've omitted some games which seem to be quiet on the development front. Let's begin with There Is No Light, a dark fantasy entry that has an atmosphere like a Souls-like game but without the stamina-based combat. Delve into the abyss, ruled by the Church of the Great Hand, slaying monsters in order to get your child back.
Believe in salvation.
Me being me, of course I love the pixel art, where among the games on this list, I believe it has the highest probability that it will launch this year, so stay tuned and I'll let you know when. A smaller upcoming title is Elementallis, one which, as in the title, has you using the power of elements in your adventure. It does look 16-bit spectacular and would not be out of place on the SNES or GBA, and does also promise the freedom of exploration in tackling the dungeons in any order that you choose. There are 8 elements and 8 dungeons, where each additional element unlocked does open up many possibilities in both combat and exploration. Examples shown in the trailer includes using the power of water to create a puddle, and then lightning to shock enemies, or to use the power of nature to grow vines to access new areas. I do think that the bosses shown in this trailer could use a little work, but the environments and backgrounds are gorgeous, making it a cannot miss when it releases. Another long in development title that I've been looking forward to is Garden Story, one that incorporates farming elements into the Zelda-style action and puzzles, looking pretty adorable and is of interest. You play as a grape who has been designated as the guardian of the grove, having to protect it and its inhabitants from a force known as the Rot. Restoring the island involves attacking the rot monsters, gathering materials, building ties between each village, and repairing and reconstructing buildings and gardens, which means that the overall meta structure of this could be very interesting. Think of it as a 2D Zelda game, but where you have a home base that you can upgrade and expand, filled with all sorts of interesting characters, and you get the idea. Its release window is still slated for summer 2021, where we are running out of days of summer, so let's see if it makes it out before then. Another sweet pixel art action-adventure title is UNSIGHTED, one that has quite the interesting premise and setup that does change things up from the classic action-adventure structure. You play as an android exploring the world of Arcadia in search of Anima, an energy source which not only gives androids consciousness, but prevents them from turning into the unsighted, mindless, mechanical monstrosities that will become your enemies. It's a race against the clock to rescue as many of your friends as possible, but the time pressure is a constant reminder in the top right. There is non-linear exploration and a choice of which NPC to save or not, so there is some replayability which makes it of interest. I love the boss and character designs, all having excellent pixel art in both portraits and the world itself, which, combined with the sleek visuals and hyperlight drifter and crosscode vibes, makes this a title of interest. If you love this genre like me, smack that like button to show your support. Publisher Humble Games is really killing it, having signed a number of notable titles across a nice variety of genres, where Totemic is the game of interest here. Not much information is given, but it seems to be set in some sort of snowy environment with a lot of elk or deer imagery, where our heroine wields an enchanted axe and can absorb the powers of her enemies, seen through a visual transformation of the character in the trailer. This developer has been relatively quiet with regards to the details, even though it's still slated for this year, but who knows if it will make the date. iLike developer Drinkbox Studios were behind the Guacamelee series of Metroidvania games, so of course their next title, Nobody Saves the World, is of interest. Cleverly or annoyingly, depending on where you stand, you play as a character named Nobody, hence the title of the game, but it's an action-adventure game where, through the power of a magic wand, you're able to transform into a variety of different forms, mixing and matching their abilities in order to progress. For example, you can play as a horse that is able to fire arrows, where the ability is from the ranger character, and there does appear to be some sort of skill tree of the interconnecting forms. No XP or grinding is required as well, so it's a different sort of action-adventure game which makes it of interest. Of course, the long in development Eastward makes the cut. Absolutely stunning with its pixel art, and did get a relatively new trailer that showed off more of its beauty. You play as a stereotypical video game pair of a grizzled old veteran and the optimistic young child, adventuring in a world where humans have been forced underground due to a toxic presence. While it has been a long time coming, it is showing signs of life, where IGN did just release an exclusive 25-minute gameplay video just 3 days ago, so it does look likely that it will make it out this year and will be one to watch. I mentioned Radio the Universe quite a number of times on the channel, being notably excited when it got an actual Steam page, since this is in the same category as Heartforth Elysia covered earlier, a promising Kickstarter title that has taken so long in development to the extent that people think that it might have become vaporware, where I do hope that it's not the case. It's a trippy, glitchy entry where the world and story seem intentionally vague, but it looks awesome, so of course I'm in. It did have a winter release window stated on the store page, where I was initially thinking it was winter 2020, but that has since slipped, so who knows when this will release. The no-brainer pick has to be Tunic, nicknamed Zelda Like a Fox, which has been a very long time coming, being first announced in 2017, so that's at least 4 years and counting. Unsurprisingly, this does the Zelda thing very well, only you are a fox, where the demo that has been playable does show off some of the core mechanics, where the action feels good and there are plenty of secrets and backtracking to be done. It did recently resurface during the Summer Games Fest this year and even had a new demo, so there are signs of life, but another title that we will have to wait on. One of the biggest announcements for me during E3 season this year is the re-emergence of Hunt the Night, a grim dark gothic horror action-adventure title that I've been keeping an eye on ever since its Kickstarter campaign, having undergone a significant visual upgrade in the months since then. As the last faith was to Bloodborne in the Metroidvania space, this game is in the action-adventure space, where there are all sorts of mutant creatures and squishy monstrosities that you need to destroy. As a member of the Stalkers, prevent the Knight from getting a foothold in this world by hunting down these powerful creatures. You're able to tap into the darkness for an array of shadowy powers, used in every aspect of the game from combat, puzzles and exploration, combined with a customizable build for your character in terms of weapons and equipment, and you have the recipe for something great. I'm not sure what the targeted release date of this will be, but I'm very excited for this, taking the #1 spot. For more Zelda-like titles, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.